Welcome, welcome everyone to our Fellowship for Today Spiritual Center Sunday service, this first Sunday in September. And I want to welcome everyone and let you know how glad we are that you've all joined us today. I want to really make a point of being grateful for the fellowship this month because we are celebrating our 37th anniversary. We always celebrate in September, and those of you who regularly attend fellowship know that we usually have a big celebration. And things are different this year. We're meeting virtually, so instead of our usual celebration, I want to encourage everyone to celebrate in your heart. Celebrate in your heart this amazing spiritual community that we're all a part of. Reach out to other fellowshipians, other members, other people who have experienced the fellowship over the years, and let them know how much you appreciate them and appreciate them being a part of the spiritual community. Every single person from the very inception of this spiritual group to this moment today has had and played a critical role in the evolution of who we are. And I already have a lump in my throat, so it's emotional for me. I love the fellowship so much. I love all of you so much. So let's make it a big deal. Even though we're meeting virtually, let's make it a big deal in our hearts and with each other. And we're going to continue to have some special things going on this month that you can participate in. A couple of announcements. Many of you have noticed that we have launched our fellowship fundraiser online store. We don't have a whole lot of items in it yet, but that's where you come in. So if you're wanting to clear some things out of your home and make some room, let us know, and we'll give you the details about how you can send us the photos and the information for those items and how that all works. We all have already made a couple sales, so we know that it's going to work and it's going to raise some money for us. We also have an amazing event coming up this month, and I want you all to make time to put this on your calendars and participate in our Listen to the Music virtual fundraiser concert for the fellowship. It's scheduled for September 18th. That's a Friday at 7 p.m. And right now we have 10 of your favorite local musicians and artists, and a couple of our favorites from out of state as well, and it's going to be a wonderful program to listen to. So let's all come together around that and participate and comment and do all the things that we do when we gather together on Facebook. So right now, let's take a moment to center ourselves. Let's take a deep breath, and I invite you to close your eyes as we start our service today. Just close your eyes and focus on your breath for a moment. Let's consciously and intentionally merge our hearts with the one mind, the all that is. And let's put our hands on our hearts and focus on this sacred space within. We know that divine love, God, sees through our human eyes, and they are open and clear. Beholding the perfection of all creation. And divine love knows there is nothing else to see. There is no separation and no otherness, only eternal oneness. We are all enveloped in this amazing, beautiful, sacred oneness. In this very moment, the circle of love is complete. This moment and every moment. Perfection is accomplished. And let's say from our own perspective, I am perfect life right now. My mind is still, and I rest in the calm and security of all that is good. I reflect the perfect whole in all that I think and believe and say and do. I am one with divine love, radiating joy, peace, abundance, and love. And together we say, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you, everyone, for sharing in that with me. And now I would like to introduce our special music for this afternoon. Please settle in and listen to a beautiful song by Julie Ross.
Hi everyone, I'm happy to be back with you today. I've got a song that you may recognize from a commercial back in the 70s. Imagine Coca-Cola, peace, love, and light, hippies, flower children standing in a big circle and singing this. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms, keep it company. I'd like to build a world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees, snow white turtle doves. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today, song of peace that echoes on, never fades away. I'd like to see the world for once, all standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills, the peace throughout the land. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms, keep it company. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today, a song of peace that echoes on, never fades away. That's the song I hear. Let the world sing today, a song of peace that echoes on, never fades away. Don't let it fade away, never fades away.
Thank you, Julie Ross. Your loving energy is appreciated by all of us, and we are so happy that you are coming into the fellowship with us. You're such a beautiful spirit, and we hope to hear and see so much more of you. I have just a quick reading for everyone today. I read something from Science of Mind in my talk last Sunday, and so I've chosen a little reading out of the full volume, Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind. And this is what it says. All is love, and yet all is law. Love rules through law. Love is the divine givingness, and law is the way. Love is spontaneous. Law is impersonal. As we gain this broader viewpoint, we see that life must contain two fundamental characteristics. We shall see that there is an infinite spirit operating through an infinite and immutable law. And I think this is something that it's all good for us to remember, that divine love does not play favorites. Love responds through law, and if we are aware of those laws, we can create a beautiful, beautiful experience for ourselves here in these human bodies. And now let's also take a moment to come together around abundance consciousness. This is an awareness that the divine flows into this world, and that's really what abundance is and how we experience abundance. As we're taught in A Course of Miracles, Course in Miracles, receiving and giving are one in truth. Just the same thing. We all experience it together. I want to thank everyone for their generous donations to the fellowship. We're in our 37th year, and we're not a part of a bigger organization. So all of our spiritual community, every single one of you, have come together around this beautiful, beautiful togetherness that we offer and provide our members. So let's read together our blessing of the tithes and offerings that you'll see on the screen right here. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. Thank you again for all of your donations. And now I want to introduce our speaker for this afternoon. We're all so familiar with Mr. Bill Dietrich and all of the wonderful, inspiring, and interesting messages he brings to us. So today he'll be talking about the first Hermetic principle, and next week he'll be joining us to talk about the second Hermetic principle. So welcome, Bill Dietrich.
Please place yourself in a comfortable position, preferably feet flat on the floor, unless you're sitting cross-legged. Your spine straight, your chin parallel with the floor, your eyes closed if you wish. And let's take a few deep breaths together. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. With each in-breath, with each out-breath, we are breathing the name of God. The ancients said that you could not pronounce God's name, but you could breathe it. So with each breath, breathing in, breathing out, we are breathing God's name. We are joining our breath, our very life, with the presence of God that surrounds you and is within you. We live and move and have our being within the all, God, the source, the creative intelligence. Breathing in, breathing out. Thoughts cross your mind. Let them pass like clouds in the sky. You see them on the screen of your mind or sense them, and then they pass by without latching on to any one of them, but be the observer of the thoughts that pass by. And as the observer, you are your higher self. You are your holy self, the Holy Spirit in you. Observe the thoughts. Observe your body and how it feels. Observe yourself breathing. Focus on the breath, breathing in, breathing out. And tell yourself that you are joining in union and relationship with the All, with the Holy Presence that dwells within you and all around you. Feel your consciousness and awareness expanding. Expanding to the point where you recognize, where you feel, where you acknowledge, where you accept that you live within this presence, this holy presence. And so say in your mind, God is, and I am. God is, and I am. You are a thought of God that has become manifest as a soul, and then as a thought of your soul, you have become manifest as a human being. Breathing in, breathing out. Acknowledge and accept your oneness with the one mind that is thinking you into existence, that is thinking you into consciousness. And now step back and see what thoughts pass through your mind. What are you thinking into existence? If it pleases you, if it feels like love, then bless it. If it is unpleasing and does not feel like love, still bless it and let it go. Bless your thoughts. They are your children. They are your creations. Let your thought now unite with the thought that created you. What was that thought that created you? That thought of God, that thought of your soul that created you in human form. What was that thought? It was love. You are an expression of love. You live in the embrace of God's unconditional love. And so you are always loved. Know this, that whenever you have a need to be loved, to be touched, to be heard, to be supported, to be encouraged, whatever it may be, know that the right person or the right thought will show up. And you will know that you are loved. So right now, as you're breathing in and breathing out, and being aware that you have been thought into existence by a God of love, know that you are well loved. You are blessed. You are heard. You are encouraged. You are supported. You are embraced. For this we give thanks. And so it is. Today, we are talking about the first Hermetic principle, which is that the all is mind, the universe is mental. This is the one area where New Thought is quite different than traditional Christianity. We hear Christians often say, "Oh, my God is an awesome God." And this is a God that is created in our own image as a human, an awesome human God, a God who has opinions, a God who makes decisions about our lives. When we say that the first principle, the first Hermetic principle, the first universal law, the all is mental, we're saying that God, as we call the all, is all there is. There's nothing else. There is one presence and one power, and that's it. So this is actually beyond awesome. It's all. We live and move and have our being within the all. So let's look at this principle. We call this a universal law because it's universal. It has universal application. It's always true. And this is the first one. There are 7, actually, from the original Hermetic principles, which were created about 4,000 years ago, and which are completely in alignment with what we would call New Thought Christianity and New Thought teachings. Principle 1, the all is mind, the universe is mental. All that is physically created is mental in essence, because the essence of everything is mind. All is mind. This is the understanding that everything exists within the mind of the all. So it's not that God created you and here you are and God is up somewhere else. You have your being within the mind of God, within the mind of the all. And all that is in form that we see exists in the mind and was once a thought. The mind then is the operating principle, the operating system of the universe, or the multiverse if you prefer, given that there's more than one universe. This knowledge, this understanding, enables you to apply your mental faculty to leverage all the other laws. The principle of mentalism then, which is what this is called, mentalism, presents a natural and universal consciousness as the source and essence of all being, as the creator and the creation. It's through consciousness that we and all the beings in the universe begin to exist as conscious ideas before we become physical realities. So this is from the Kybalion. The Kybalion, there's a couple different ways of pronouncing it, supposedly written by Hermes Trismegistus, who I will talk about in just a moment. The principle of mentalism embodies the truth that all is mind. It explains that the all, which is the substantial reality underlying everything, underlying all outward manifestations and appearances, which we know under the terms of the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, everything that is apparent to our material senses. That this is spirit, which is unknowable and undefinable, which may be considered and thought of as a universal, infinite, and living mind. That's why I say that God is beyond awesome. If God is mind, and I'm making those synonyms, God and mind, infinite, universal, living mind. The mind of God is alive, and we are alive within that mind. Therefore, if we are to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life, we need to recognize the power that's in our minds, which are part of the mind, and to use that power to create the experience that we truly want. Thoughts become things, and there is nothing under heaven that is not subject to the shaping spirit of your imagination. This is a quote from the Kybalion. Do not make the mistake of supposing that the little world that you see around you, the earth, which is a mere grain of dust in the universe, is the universe itself. There are millions upon millions of such worlds and greater. And there are millions of such universes in existence within the infinite mind of the all. This is an amazing statement because it was written 4,000 years ago. This statement, you will find, is exactly what physicists today are discovering. So who came up with these statements? Well, as I said, it was a guy named Hermes Trismegistus. And as I said, he lived 4,000 years ago, probably in Egypt. I think he may have spent time in Greece too. He taught and recorded his teachings on universal law. The man became a legend, and the legend became a myth. In Egypt, they called him the god Thoth. In Greece, they called him Hermes, and in Rome, Mercury. But it is thought that he actually was a real person, a sage, a teacher, a healer, who preceded Jesus by 2,000 years. He was called Trismegistus, which means thrice greatest, because he was said to have mastered all three planes of existence: the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. You have heard the term hermetically sealed, that something is hermetically sealed. That means it's secret, it's closed. The teachings of Hermes were held secret because it was felt that only people who were spiritually developed could really understand these teachings and use them appropriately. Because an understanding of universal law can also help you to do a lot of bad things. So that's where the term hermetically hermetically sealed comes from. It's from Hermes and what was called his secret doctrine. Charles Fillmore, a more modern sage. The universe itself, at an underlying and foundational level, is mental. All phenomena of life, matter, and energy, all phenomena of the material universe are thoughts of an infinite and universal living mind. He's saying the same thing. So I am guessing that Charles Fillmore read the Hermetic Principles, because if you study New Thought, you will find that much of New Thought is based on these very principles. And if you look deeply enough into the teachings of Jesus, I think you'll find that he also was aware of these principles. So what does it mean? What does it mean when we say that all is mind and everything is thought? It means that everything we see in our material world are appearances. They're creations of our minds. The things that you see in front of you, the computer on your desk or your phone in your hand, whatever it may be, is a creation of thought. Whoever invented it had the thought first. You had the thought to purchase or receive that particular item that is in front of you now. If you look at your life, everything in your life is a result of thoughts. Some of those thoughts, maybe most of those thoughts, are subconscious, and some are conscious. But what you see before you, the movie that we call your life, is a projection of your thoughts. What you experience in your body is a projection of your thoughts. It may not be thoughts you're conscious of, but it's there. So what that tells us then is that whatever we're experiencing in life, there's no escape. We can drink, take drugs, watch bad TV, do all kinds of addictive things in order to escape, but there's no escape. The good news is that while there isn't any escape, there is healing. And if we face what our conscious and subconscious thoughts have created and allow them to be healed, when we turn within and offer ourselves unconditional love and unify ourselves with the unconditional love of God, we can face and heal these aspects of ourselves and integrate them into the whole. And we become whole and healed beings. All right, so I mentioned modern science. So this is a quote from a physicist. The stream of knowledge is heading toward a non-mechanical reality. The universe begins to look more like a great thought than a great machine. Mind no longer appears as an accidental intruder into the realm of matter. We are beginning to suspect that we ought rather to hail it as creator and governor of the realm of matter. This is James Jeans, a physicist. There are physicists who have believed that the creation of human beings and consciousness was accidental, or it's just a one in a billion kind of thing. You might call it the Goldilocks theory, that everything in the environment of a particular planet was just right. And so life was created, and out of that life evolved humans. But there are many physicists, like James Jeans, who say, no, it's not like that. There is an underlying creative substance, an underlying intelligence here. And you can call it a great thought, the great mind. And the universe is actually, I should say the multiverse, because physicists say there are many universes now, and it's the theory of the multiverse. So you might call that other dimensions. But anyway, all of them have underneath them the essence that we call mind. So what does that mean in terms of our relationship then to mind? Well, Charles Fillmore says that we do not have to beseech God any more than we have to beseech the sun to shine. The sun shines because it is a law of its being. It's a law of its being to shine, and it cannot help it. No more can God help pouring into us unlimited wisdom, life, power, all good. Because to give is a law of his or her being. Nothing can hinder God except our own lack of understanding. We are always in a state of being in the flow. The only thing that can block that is us, our beliefs, our ways of seeing ourselves in the world, our own lack of love. When we open up, then we receive what is already coming to us. So there's no need to beseech. If you remember in the New Testament, when Jesus prayed, he never asked for God to do anything. He simply looked at somebody or placed his hands on someone and gave thanks that it was already done. And that's the model, is we don't have to ask as such or beseech or beg or hope that we're worthy. It's a matter of our deserving and believing and truly being grateful and giving thanks. All right then. This is from Unity, which many of you are familiar with, of course. There's one presence and one power in the universe and in our lives, and that power is God. God is absolute spirit, absolute good, and everywhere present. Again, this is just a repeat of the universal principle, the Hermetic principle, universal law number 1. The universe is mental, all. The universe is all. All is one thought. At the beginning in the Bible, Genesis 1:3, it says, "And God said, let there be light, and there was light." Creation was spoken, thought, and then spoken into existence. So the creation allegory from the Old Testament is showing us that the mind thought all that we see in this universe, all that we know to be ourselves, into existence and spoke it into existence. And that's the same thing that we do, is that we think and then speak our lives into the existence that we have. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This is from the Gospel of John. Same thing. The Word, also called the Logo, is the creative force, the creative power, rather, in the universe. The phenomenal world, or universe, is simply a mental creation of the all, subject to the law of created things, and the universe as a whole, and in its parts or units, has as its existence in the mind of the all, in which mind we live and move and have our being. Everything is simply a mental creation of the all, and it's subject to the laws of created things. This law of mentalism being the first. And as I said, there are 6 others that were given in the Hermetic principles. For example, the second one is as above, so below, as below, so above, called the law of correspondence. There's the law of cause and effect. There is the law of rhythm, the law of polarity, the law of gender. Those are the laws. And in future talks, I will get into those. Okay. And my final slide. This is important. You, we, but I'm addressing you, you have believed the real world makes demands, and the mind just isn't real enough to pay the bills, heal the body, or get the work done. That's what you tell yourself. That's what we all tell ourselves many times over. But through your focused intention, you can download this principle, this universal law, and the other laws, and you will understand. The presence and power will be active in you. Okay. So let's bring this down to the level of practicality. All I can talk about is, what am I doing about this? I know that my thoughts create my life, and that if I want any changes, if I want to grow, I need to change my thoughts, but not just my thoughts, but my underlying thoughts, my subconscious thoughts, which would be who I am being at any given moment. what I've been doing is every morning, and this is now, I think this morning would be the 83rd consecutive day, I go for a walk in the morning. I get up bright and early, rain or shine, and I walk about 3 miles. Takes me about an hour, and that is my meditation and prayer time. And I affirm and envision the person I choose to be. The point here is not to make magic happen or to send my words out and then hopefully they'll magically become manifest, but to change, in a sense, my vibration, which, by the way, is the third universal law. Everything vibrates. And so I do that by repeating these same thoughts every morning. And by doing it in an emotional state that is very positive and loving. And by doing that, I change the wiring in my brain and I change the emotional state of my body. So after doing this for 83 days, and I have no plans to stop, have I seen incredible manifestations? Not yet, but that's not the point. Do I feel a change on the inside? And the answer is yes. I feel good. We are living in a time where many people are afraid and stressed. I don't feel that. Yeah, I sense it, but personally, I don't feel that. And I think it's because I spend each morning grounding myself. This may sound contradictory, but grounding myself and uplifting myself, preparing for the day so that I am in a positive state, so that my thoughts are creating what I want them to create, which is a life that is healthy and prosperous, where my relationships are beautiful and holy, where I'm living my purpose. Those are the kinds of things that I'm carrying in my mind, and so making manifest in my life. And yeah, there are little things that happen that show me that there's some physical manifestation. But again, the physical manifestation is more of a result. I don't have control over what physically manifests in my life. I have control over what I think and what I choose to spend time focusing on in terms of my emotions. We live in the mind of God. We live in the embrace of God's unconditional love. So I have 2 recommendations for you for this next week. Number 1, be aware of your thoughts. What are you creating? And if you find that you're in a state of worry or stress or fear, then you can change that. You can reach for something higher. And that's part of the second one, is take time every day. You can do a morning thing like I do, maybe you already do, where you envision the person you choose to be. You envision how you want to feel. You envision who you want to be. And then throughout the day, check in with yourself, being aware of how you're feeling. And if you're not at that place where you want to be, then reaching for it. And the way that you reach for it is, if you're feeling depressed or angry or upset, simply acknowledge and accept that that's how you feel. Bless it, embrace it, love it. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to take it apart. Just love it. Know that it's not real. It's just you making stuff up. So embrace it, and then in that way you will reach toward something higher. So what we're doing then is we are envisioning who we want to be, because everything is created by thought, and then we are continually reaching higher thoughts and higher states of being throughout our day. Those are my 2 suggestions. All right then. I wish you a blessed week, and I will see you next time. Take care.
Thank you, Julie Ross. Thank you, Bill, for your inspiring message, always giving us something to think about as we go through our week. And thank you to all of you, beautiful, beautiful beings, for sharing this time together with us and being part of the fellowship experience. Remember to keep that in your heart this month. It's our anniversary, and I'm just joyful. I just feel so amazing and amazed that we can share this 37th anniversary together. And so now it is time for that wonderful, wonderful ending to our service that we have been using for so many years. Let's all stand if you are able and sing out loud our peace song as we gather together in our peace circle, just imagining our neighbor's hands in ours. And then we'll finish with our closing blessing. The words will be on your screen for those who are just joining us. I want to say again how much I love you all, how much this beautiful community means to me and each one of you, because all of you make up the fellowship, and we wouldn't be here without you. So have a wonderful week, and join us again next Sunday.
The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth.